All right, what's up, guys? Dan here, and I'm here with Jungle Scout CEO Greg Mercer right here. We're going to talk about how to hit six figures, $100,000 selling on Amazon in 2018 and 2019. So welcome, Greg.
Dan, thank you for having me on. I love this topic, man. I remember back in the day, I worked a corporate job. I hated my life. All I want to do is become an entrepreneur and work and earn six figures, man. Probably like whoever's watching this video, watching us talk right now, are probably having very similar ideas or thoughts running through their head. So let's chat about it, man.
Yeah, so I think that, with a lot of people watching right now, they might not know about like Amazon FBA as an opportunity. They might not know about private labeling or like what's the best way of doing it, right? Because on Amazon, there's a lot of different ways. There's private labeling, retail arbitrage, right? There's also like drop shipping as well. So but I think that, and others who might know about it and who might have actually started selling on Amazon, they might think that like six figures or 100,000 with an e-commerce business on Amazon is like impossible to hit. So I think that, in this video, we'll hopefully clear away some of those fears, and we'll explain like exactly, give some tips on like the easiest way to reach six figures. And I just want to start by saying that reaching six figures with an e-commerce business, I thought when I was just starting on Amazon, I thought it was like, holy crap, six figures, 100,000, that's insane. Right, but in reality, when you have a physical products business, and that's what Amazon is, selling products online, it's not that many products that you have to sell to reach six figures. So in reality, to hit six figures, right, and all entrepreneurs break down their goals, and I'm just going to do it really quickly here on my calculator. So let's say 100,000 a year, right? We'll divide that by 365 days in a year, and that is $274 in profit a day. So I would say there's a lot of different ways of hitting that, right? You can hit that with one product, and let's say that our typical profit would be $10 per unit, right? That's like the ideal profit with Amazon FBA, right? So let's say you sell the product at $25, right? And your profit would be $10 from that, right? So that means that from one product, we would have to sell 28 units a day to make six figures. But actually, personally, I would rather like sell multiple products. So I would rather split that into like three products. So, three products selling 9 units a day or 10 units a day. That's pretty much $300 a day. And then that way we hit six figures a year. So, in my mind, and I'm interested in hearing what you have to say as well. In my mind, it's as simple as that. And, there's not like a lot of people are asking and are wondering, is e-commerce too competitive? Is Amazon too competitive? Like, is it really possible for me to hit six figures? Of course it is. Like I just broke it down, right? It's really that simple. If you put in that effort long term, you will get there, right? So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And, if you search around like YouTube, you see tons of different videos speaking about Amazon and the private label opportunity. And I think like when that happens, a lot of people get scared and say like, oh man, it must be like too saturated. Like if there's people, on YouTube telling you how to do something, then like everyone in the world knows about it. And why there is a little piece of me that agrees with you. I think what's unique about the Amazon space is Amazon's been growing so rapidly. Like, it's a public company. You can see like their earnings figures. They've been growing so fast that I think it's still such a good opportunity just because of that, right? Like, even though, there's a whole bunch of Amazon sellers and there's like hundreds of new ones signing up every day, like it's just really hard for us like as humans to like understand the scale at which Amazon is and like how quickly they're growing. So like when they're gathering like 50,000 new Prime customers a day or whatever it is, like all of a sudden like a few hundred Amazon sellers joining that day doesn't really seem like so much, right? Like that's just at like the scale that they're at, and it's really crazy to think about and a really special thing to be able to be a part of.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, let's just talk about like our experiences going from 0 to six figures. And like for you, you've actually been selling on Amazon a lot longer than me. So how was like your experience? Like what were your beliefs, going from 0 and then to finally hitting your six figures? Was it fast? Was it slow? Like how did that happen for you?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And something that like just came to mind that I was just thinking about is, so I started selling on Amazon in 2012. So like 6-7 years ago now. And what's crazy is when I started in 2012, I also thought it was probably too saturated or too competitive to get started. I think I waited a little while to get started because I was like, oh man, by now, like everyone's selling on Amazon, like it's not an opportunity anymore.
That was so like 6 years ago.
What's that?
And that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and that was like 6 years ago. So like I was thinking, or like I think everyone thinks that same thing no matter like what time period it is, like if you found out about this opportunity through someone else, then like everyone in the whole world must know about it. So that's kind of fun to think about, right? But I don't remember the exact time frame it took me to like hit the six figures in profit. I think it was roughly about like a 1 year period. I was able to I started off launching two products at the same time. Both of them had a decent amount of success, but I was still also kind of finding my way a little bit. And then by the time I launched like my fourth, fifth product, I think that's when I like really had it dialed in. And by then I like understood a very systematic way to be able to launch product after product and do so successfully.
Awesome. So you actually launched two products at the same time. And
Yeah,
why'd you do that?
Yeah, good question. So, like in 2012, the landscape was a little bit different. There wasn't as much high quality information as what there is now to learn how to sell on Amazon. So, I essentially didn't quite know what I was doing too much. So, I just launched two very different types of products. And my goal out of it was actually just to try to learn as much as I can. And like that was like the benefit of launching two different products. So, like one was there's a very simple product. The other one I kind of like made some changes on, and it was in a totally different category. And I was like, okay, if nothing else, like from launching these two products, I should be able to like learn how to sell on Amazon and how to purchase goods from China and work with these factories pretty well.
Okay, so and there's actually a very important thing that you mentioned, the fact that back in 2012, we didn't have tools like Jungle Scout, right? So it was like very primitive, I assume, right, in 2012 to find products. You were probably doing it based on things like BSR, which is the bestsellers rank, right? And if anything, in my opinion, right, it just got way easier because of the amount of high quality information. Also, with the amazing tools like Jungle Scout, everything's all in one. Your keywords, your product research, right, all the kind of stuff like that you need is just so much more accessible, right?
Yeah, that is a really good point, and I almost forgot about that, like life before Jungle Scout. But that actually is part of the reason I launched too, is because we didn't have a good understanding at the time how well any single product on Amazon was selling. It was like literally a crapshoot. So now you made a great point there that really a lot of the risk associated with selling on Amazon and launching a new product is now reduced, right? And now we can make like data backed decisions. And from that, really like reduce a lot of the risk of like trying to launch something that's just not going to sell at all.
So would you say like now, if I was, let's just say for the Amazon beginner, someone just starting out with, maybe they want to create like freedom in their life, they want to quit the 9 to 5 job, they want to start an online business, right? Would you say that for them starting Amazon FBA, like with the level of risk, because you mentioned that right now it's lower than it was back, in 2012 when you said it pretty much was a crapshoot, you didn't know whether your product was going to succeed or not, right? And it was just very risky. Would you say that now like the risk is it's pretty much like so much reduced that you can kind of predict exactly how much you're going to make, at least in a ballpark range, like and what you would need to do to get there and things like that?
Yeah, so I mean, let's be real here. Like, we're still starting a business, and there's a certain level of risk associated with doing that, right? Like, this is a real business. You're investing real cash in it, and there is starting any business is a certain amount of risk associated with it, and a certain level of reward associated with it too. And that's why we choose to do these things, right? But I would say that with all the additional insights that we have now, that risk is greatly reduced. And kind of like on that same note, I was just on a podcast being interviewed last week, and there was a total of 5 entrepreneurs, and there was me and 4 other, and it was pretty cool because all this came from very different spaces. One like builds websites and monetizes them through affiliate revenue. I know a lot about Amazon and private labeling. There was someone else who was doing drop shipping, someone else building like a niche e-commerce store. So all these different backgrounds. And what was actually pretty cool is, and what I actually couldn't believe is that all of them agreed that if they were starting out right now, and I think the question was posed if they had like $1,000 or $2,000 to start with, actually everyone from all those different spaces, even though they have very diverse backgrounds, thought that launching a product on Amazon was like the best opportunity to get started with today. There was a little bit more conflict and arguments on when the question was rephrased of like how to like grow it's like $1 million. Then people started to think that their individual opportunities may be better. But it was pretty cool to see that everyone agreed that like, hey, if you were just getting started today and you wanted to make some money and get started with a business, that this was the best way to go about doing it.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. Like I always say that if I was starting a business right now, like if you were to throw me into this, Saharan desert, and then somehow I had an internet connection and I had, some money to start because private labeling. So we're talking about private labeling, right? You do need some money to start. So maybe $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 or more, depending on the cost of your product, right? I would definitely start an Amazon FBA business because all you can do it from anywhere. You can literally do it in your pajamas in your bed, right? Because everything is online. Right, so I would definitely agree with you. Now, I think an important point to ask is, even though before it was kind of like a crapshoot and like people didn't really know whether their product's going to succeed or not, right, at all. There was a very high risk associated with it. Someone might think, hey, well, if everybody's using Jungle Scout and if everybody's using these tools, right, like how do I know that all the other people are not also seeing my product, right? Like, how do I know that even though it looks like it's better for me because now the risk is reduced, like how do I know that my product is still good because everybody else is seeing, the products on Jungle Scout? So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that really comes down to like before you're kind of getting started, you have this very like limited mindset and that there's only like a certain amount of like dollars in the world or whatever else. And
the
that,
scarcity mindset,
like,
pretty much, yeah.
yeah, if everyone has Jungle Scout, then all of them, then why aren't all these opportunities like taken or whatever else?
Yeah.
And I think this really goes back to again just like the overall market size of Amazon. Like they do so many dollars in sales and sell so many units that's just like so hard for like me or you to like really understand and grasp this. And then also once you start browsing around like on Jungle Scout, see all the different products, I think it starts to make a little bit more sense because you realize how much like weird, just tiny little niche stuff, like this little bicycle lock or whatever else, like you start to realize how many literally millions and millions of different types of products there are. And then it starts to make a little bit more sense because I think it's like, okay, there's literally millions of different products on Amazon. I mean, listed on Amazon is like 400 or 500 million or something crazy like that. Only about 60 million sell every month, but still 60 million products. So let's say that there's like 5 million products that sell really well, like 10 a day or more or so, okay? Now, once you start thinking about it like that, like there's 5 million different opportunities and there's only, let's say, between 100 and 150,000 serious sellers on Amazon. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, the math starts to work out now. Like I start to understand it. Like most people on Amazon only have a few products. There's only between 100 and 200,000 sellers, yet there's millions and millions of different opportunities. And it's like, okay, now like I get it. There's just like not really enough sellers and enough capital to purchase all those products in order to like take up all those opportunities and all that demand.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that there's just more than enough for everybody, like for all serious Amazon sellers or Amazon beginner sellers. There's more than enough, and nobody has to worry about things like, oh, it's like the scarcity mindset, like, oh, if they're seeing the same product as me, right? Because there are just so many products on Amazon, and I completely agree. Yeah.
That really is like the math and the data like really does back that up right now. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're watching this replay and it's say like 2020, 2021, I don't know, I'd have to kind of like revisit it at that time and see like if the demand on Amazon continues to grow at the same rate of like the supply does, or like if more people start to take advantage of it. Like right now, like 2018, 2019, even into 2020, I think I can stand by those numbers. After that, then I have to kind of like readdress them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I pulled up the Jungle Scout web app right here, and this is the product database, and this is like the OG product research tool right here. This is the software that Greg and his team have created, and they basically made this to make it super easy to find products. And I just wanted to show you guys, like, this is what I've been using since the beginning, since I started selling on Amazon. And if we look at the products here, just to show you guys how much money these sellers are making, with not that many reviews. And right here, I specifically put in, we put in the price, so we put in like $13.76 to $35, so quite a large range, and then we put max reviews 132. Some might think that's high, but the point is just to find products with low amounts of reviews, and making money, just to show you guys, hey, like, look, it's possible out there, and they don't have to be complicated products or anything. So this one I actually found the other day, Mr. Right and Mrs. Always Right. Like $24.99, 30 reviews, and it's 4 stars. So right away, like, hey, there's room for improvement as well. Like, we're entrepreneurs, we're looking to improve. We're not just looking to, just to like copy and just make, just pretty much sell the same thing. So if we pull up the Chrome extension here, right, like this product is making $10,000 a month in revenue, right? So we can assume that the profit margin maybe is 50%, 40%, so making $4,000 to $5,000 in profit a month just from this one product. So if I was an Amazon beginner, Greg, and I saw this, right, like, can I, like, am I like, okay, like, this is like, pretty accurate, can I safely say?
Yeah, so those numbers right there, over the course of the past 4 years, we've really dialed in our algorithms to estimate how well these products are selling. So that number right there is accurate to within about plus or minus 10%. It's pretty cool because we did this big case study about us compared to a whole bunch of competitors and stuff. We're by far the most accurate in the industry. So the short answer to that is yes. And as it relates to this particular video, that's why we can remove a lot of the risk that we were talking about earlier, because we really can find out how well these products are selling on Amazon.
Yeah, and about like the removing the risk, like if I'm just starting out, I don't have much money to start with, and I really just want to make sure that my first product is successful. Let's say that I am looking to do this product. If I were to go on Amazon here and I would type in like the main keywords, so what would be the main keywords for this? Like Mr. Right, Mrs. Always Right. I mean, it would probably be stemless wine glasses. But what should I type in here?
Yeah, we could try like wedding glasses or
yeah, wedding glasses, let's just say. But the thing is, like, they don't have that exact same design. So maybe Mr. Right. There you go, Mrs. Always Right. Let's see how many are selling this right here. All right, so we've got like different kinds here, right? So if I pull up the Chrome extension here, and if I take a look at the revenue, the reviews, right? So like funny wedding gifts, those are just, so it's a wine glass and beer glass combo. Let's say, I found this product, great price point, $23, and I found it, from a supplier for maybe, let's just say like, I don't know, $3, $4 together. Can I safely assume that like I can come in here and then over time I can make, maybe like, I don't know, 4,000, 5,000, 7,000. Like what should my expectations be as a new seller? For example, selling this exact like product, or maybe with some improvement.
Yeah, good question. So, you can tell how long products have been on Amazon based off of the number of reviews they have. That's like a pretty good indicator. And I see that, for example, right there in the number 5 spot, that person only has 18 reviews and they're already selling about 250 units per month. So that listing's probably only been on Amazon for like 1, 2, maybe 3 months, right? And they're selling $6,500 per month, which is a lot. And there's a few different examples of that, right? Like below it, they only have 30 reviews, they're up to 418 reviews. So, I mean, there are people here that aren't doing as well, right? Like the number 10 guy, he's only selling 6 units per month. But usually what happens is if you click into that, you'll see that the listing isn't very good and they probably haven't done like a very good job with it. It's like they probably didn't do their research right.
Yeah.
For example, maybe this particular design isn't popular. I can already tell that they only have 3 pictures, which isn't very good.
No, like,
I also see their bullet points aren't very good. Their title's not very good. So, I mean, I think it would be a fair expectation for this that you could get in there and sell around that 250 mark, like that one example that would give you above.
With the 18 reviews. Okay, awesome. So, and if you have a couple of these products, you obviously easily hit the 6-figure mark, right? And from what it looks like here. So, I mean, of course, compared to 2012, it definitely is way easier now to sell on Amazon. A lot of the risk is taken away. But in my opinion, this is obvious. Like, you still have to put in a lot of effort. I think a lot of people think that, it's a lot of people make it sound so easy that you don't have to put any effort in. You can just kind of, spend 3 nights on it and then expect to make 6 figures, right? Obviously not. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like we spoke about earlier, like this is still a real business, right? It does require real work. And if you're on YouTube and checking out any videos and they tell you you're going to make a whole bunch of money without doing any work, then quickly get out of that video and find someone who's actually telling you the truth, because that's just like the truth of it. And to be honest, though, like if we're talking about kind of like a long-term successful business here, you want to do the things that require some work and that like are as a result help you build like a real business. And that's what you're doing by launching private label products on Amazon. And that's why I really like this business.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that was an amazing summary of how to hit 6 figures with Amazon FBA. Thanks for coming on, Greg. It's always an honor. And I'm probably going to record with Greg soon again. So if you guys want to see that, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are interested in entrepreneurship, e-commerce, Amazon FBA, and making money online business in general, living the freedom lifestyle, also check out the Jungle Scout YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link below. Greg's on there as well, making videos probably every day, right?
Yeah, we make a lot of videos.
Yeah. So awesome. So yeah, subscribe. Go check out Jungle Scout, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, man.